Hi, welcome. Today's lesson is a continuation of the theory lesson about the grand staff that we did last time. So we were starting to talk about the staff and the notes, and then how to draw the treble clef and the bass clef. So that's what we're going to do right now. If you have a piece of paper or a chalkboard or a whiteboard like this, mine's actually a green board, go ahead and get that out. And a pencil would be best because then you can erase, or just a big sheet of paper and you can use a pen, a crayon, whatever you want, and then try it again if it's not right. So the first thing you do when you're making the treble clef sign, I'm going to draw one for you first. And we said that it looks like a fish hook and then a fancy 6. See that? A sort of fancy 6. Now we hook them together. So the fish hook, then the fancy 6. There's the treble clef, very easy. The original design of this comes from the letter G, so it looks a little bit like a fancy G, and that G shape became the fancy, what I'm calling a fancy 6, became our treble clef sign, like that. The next, excuse me, the next clef sign that we want to learn is the bass clef. And I'm going to do that one in, goodness, green. So the bass clef is very easy. It looks like someone's ear with 2 earrings. So, easiest thing ever, draw a circle first, a little dot. Then you're going to draw the ear. Then you're going to give it 2 earrings. And that comes from the letter F. Kind of looks like a fancy F. And then those 2 lines became dots. And that helps us know where the F line is on our grand staff. So we're going to take a look at that again and how those go on the staff. So you can keep practicing that if you want to. Hopefully you've drawn a couple treble clefs and a couple bass clefs for yourself. I'm going to do a red staff. And if you remember last time we talked about there being 5 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 spaces. And on that top line, you can draw some lines yourself. And on the top line, I'm going to do the treble clef. There's the beginning of it. And the second part is my fancy what? Fancy 6. And that 6 should circle right over this line here, which is G. Then I'm going to draw another set of 5 lines. You can do that as well. Should look like this. And we're going to put our bass clef there. We're going to draw the first little dot of that on the second line from the top, or the 4th line from the bottom. Then we're going to draw our ear, and we put our 2 dots right on either side of that second line. So line becomes the F clef, And the line up here becomes the G clef. The other thing we need to do is we need to give it a bracket. So the bracket is going to be a straight line down, and then just a fancy little brace. And it goes like that. You might want to try practicing that a couple times. That's a little harder to do for some people. So now we have our grand staff. And I'm going to draw a couple lines here to help you know what we're doing a little bit further. So we have our, what's this called? Treble clef. And we have, what's this called? Bass clef. And I wrote over here G clef and F clef because right here is a G. We go, every good boy deserves fudge. E, G, B, D, E. This line that goes right through there is G. So it's called the G clef. On the bass clef, I'm going to do the same thing in blue. We have a note right there that is F. So F clef goes right through the little earrings on the ear. Those become our guide notes. So G and F become guide notes that help us know what the other notes are around those on the staff. The one that we can kind of always count on is right in the middle. Right here in the middle is middle C. So if you want to take a moment and write some of these things out, draw your own grand staff, put the bracket on, draw a treble clef sign and a bass clef sign. And then what we've got here are C, I should have had my pens out, shouldn't I? G, and what was the last one? What's our last guide note? F. There you go. So that's the beginnings of a grand staff and how we got the names for these funny things. Treble just means high notes and bass means low notes, but you can also call them G clef and F clef, and they give us our guide notes of G, C, and F. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and we'll do some more next time. Bye-bye.